Jarrett Lau here with Profitable Properties Boston. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about your choice in picking a real estate agent to help you find your next investment property. I don't make a lot of these videos explaining how great I am and the reasons why you should choose us other people, but I do want to be able to share with you guys some experience. When I first got into this real estate investing game, and my first unit was like this little 300 square foot condo. Honestly, I didn't know where to go or how to choose the right unit. I mean, you can see things like sales comps and hope and know that rents, are a certain amount, but I probably wouldn't have bought a condo and I probably wouldn't have bought into a building that had issues and maintenance and assessments. So why I'm discussing all of this is that, picking a real estate agent is probably the most important thing that you guys have to choose while building your portfolio and your real estate investing journey. Everybody and their mother has a friend, cousin, uncle who does real estate, right? Sometimes do it part-time, sometimes they do it full-time. Out of those people, a lot of them might work with all different types of buyers. First-time home buyers, right? People who are elderly, or some might work with investment properties. Our company is named Profitable Properties Boston because we only work with investment property buyers and sellers. So we know the numbers extremely well. So I'm going to walk you through the process of buying an investment property, and I'm going to share with you some of my licenses and experiences and how they relate to this business. So first and foremost, we have to go on typically multiple listing service as well as try to find off-market deals. And the majority of deals that I personally purchase for myself and my clients are going to be off-market. As soon as they're on MLS or anywhere else that every other agent can see it, you have a lot more competition. Basic supply and demand curve means the more demand, the higher the price is going to be with things. So we try to find things off market. How do we do that? Well, I pay personally over $30,000 a year in direct mailers, as well as I have direct cold callers. I buy lists of buyers that areas and seeing properties, and I'll pay them for each lead that I get in contact with. I have people who are driving for dollars. Driving for dollars means that they are, driving around looking for properties that might not look good. Again, sending me the addresses, and what we do is we look them up and we skip trace. And again, I have to pay for these people. And I also will have a network of wholesalers who are sending off-market deals for us that I have to have an on-staff person put together and then send out to you guys if it fits your criteria. So we spend a ton of money to be able to get really good deals for both our in-house as well as my clients, right? So that separates us out. It's not just MLS deals. In addition, at that point, right, we have to be able to analyze deals for you. So I've actually become an associate appraiser, learning the ways that we can appraise different properties for you. As a general contractor, licensed general contractor in Massachusetts, I also will have the skills and abilities to be able to quote out major repairs and renovations, our kitchen cabinet countertop business as well, that allows me to be able to save on materials for my clients as well as for myself. So, once we found those properties, we then have to appraise and see if it's going to, be worth what the people want to buy it at. That's huge because there's different approaches, right? There's things like the income-based approach, which is going to be able to run the numbers of how much it would make on income. And we own a real estate brokerage, and that real estate brokerage also does rentals. So having a really deep understanding of how much money the actual property is going to get for rent. There's a ton of real estate agents out there that I've seen help their clients buy properties, and then the rents not get what they say that they're actually going to be rented. So you got to be really careful about that and be realistic. We're going to be able to help put together those projected numbers or pro forma for you and present those to you, as well as what that looks like in the future. And, the next part is once you have that property, you're going to be able to negotiate, right? So you're going to try to negotiate all the different deals and aspects of it, from the financing aspect, which is a huge thing, right? I mean, today's interest rates are about 6-7%, and every quarter point, half point really takes away from the returns. So I'm actually a licensed mortgage broker as well. So to be able to help guide you guys through the process of buying an investment property, sometimes you have to buy commercial properties, commercial loans, if the property is over 4 units, or mixed use property. So that loan process is completely different. And to have the right attorneys to be able to guide you through that process as well is huge. And just someone who's gone through that deal and that paperwork and the disclosures and the inspections and all the different negotiations that come with working with an investment property, buyer or seller, it's completely different, right? So you want someone with that experience who's been doing it for 20 plus years at that point. So let's just say that we put that property under agreement and, we're able to find you a great loan, whether it's from a local bank, a mortgage broker, or, if it's a crazy off market deal that we got to close on tomorrow, you might even be able to get a hard money loan, and we can help you out with that as well. Run all those numbers for you as well as the projections. And if the property needs work, again, as a general contractor, we're able to help quote that out for you. We can do a walkthrough. And again, as a home inspector, we're able to spot a lot of things. Again, you should always potentially hire a third-party home inspector, but it's nice to have a real estate agent who has that experience, both as a GC and a home inspector, right, to be able to guide you and just not waste your time on properties that are horrible. If they are horrible, great, they'll be able to at least tell you how much it's going to be. So at that point, right, we're in that progress of due diligence. And I have a team that is all they do. They do due diligence. And what does that mean, right? So we're going to go through and check all of the rent rolls, right? Are they legit? Do the leases look good? Are they what they say they're going to be for the amount? Do they deal with the insurance or the taxes they said were 27 grand and ended up being 54. That changed my number significantly. So due diligence, you have a very short time frame to be able to do that. Is huge. And you need to have a team that really knows what they're looking for to make sure that the numbers promised are actually what they are. Then again, during that process, you will, work on the financing, having someone, I have deal transaction coordinators who are just pushing deals, making sure every single day they're moving smoothly. And again, if you work with just any other real estate agent, they're probably trying to show other clients. They're trying to, do whatever else they're doing. If they're part-time, they have another job. Like, how can they have the time and energy to be able to do all of this? I mean, I couldn't do it all myself. That's why I have a team. And again, a team is not cheap. Like, you need to have really skilled, experienced people. And I have one person who just does that due diligence process and another person who just pushes these deals and the transactions when it comes to it. So let's say we've gone through that due diligence process at that point. So everything checks out, great, we're good, right? So there's still things that need to occur. The next thing would be, quoting out things like insurance. For me, I'm a licensed, insurance agent. I owned an insurance agency for a while. You have to be able to do is understand the coverages, not just the cheapest thing. And you need to be able to make sure that, you have replacement cost coverage, you have things for loss of rent, right? Like in the worst case scenario. And again, would you rather deal with a real estate agent who owned an insurance agency or just someone who kind of knows insurance and can refer you to another agency, right? We talk the talk when it comes to all of that. And again, during this whole time frame, we're trying to negotiate, things like, can we rent out the property or show it in advance? Can we do 3D Matterport tours in order to start advertising it prior to even closing to minimize that vacancy gap in between? Can we, talk with tenants if they are and start negotiating renewals for them and paperwork? These are all things that a rookie or non-experienced non-investment agent probably wouldn't have the experience to be able to do. And our job is to be able to say, okay, great, what are all the things you should look out for? And we have a big checklist for all this stuff. And let's go through it to make sure that when we do close on this property, we're ready to rock and roll and to be able to hit that ground running and be profitable for you. So walk through that process, and then day of closing, we make sure it's closed. And if you decide to, have us help manage your property, we'll manage for the first year for free to make sure that we get you smoothly up and running, get your profits up, just for working with us. And again, as a buyer's agent, you don't pay us. The other side typically pay us. So, why not choose someone who has all this experience that can do all of this for you at absolutely no cost and get, a property management for a year for free to be able to make sure that you're set up for success. So again, really important to choose the right real estate agent. If any of that made sense to you, feel free to DM, reach out to me. Love to be able to help you out on your next deal, help you analyze the current deal. And if you or anyone else you know is looking to buy a profitable property, love to be able to help you out.